Oh my gosh, you see it? Look at that. Look at it. Actual clouds in the sky. I love it. The last like the last few days, it's been very hazy or just like blue, which is nice, or it's just been super dark and drizzly. But there's the actual clouds. Lovely. Great intro. Hey, what's up, garden friends? Jeff here. How's everybody doing? Hope you're doing well. I'm great. Hanging out, chilling, enjoying the seating area here. I've come to appreciate this area in the morning. I sit here and then I slowly watch this line get closer and closer and closer, and right around I don't know, here o'clock, that's when I no longer sit over here, or I move over there, or just go someplace in the shade. Have the seating area down on the other end now. Did I get it? Nope, that failed. Well, over there behind the tripod, yeah, there's the seating area. It's just so nice out. Got all these big projects done. That's what's, been the highlight, or the, focus, I should say, of the last all the videos for the last couple of months. That's all been wrapped up now, and now do just fun other projects. Other much needed projects. So I have some drip stuff sitting out here. I want to get some drip run to some of the plants that are in the driveway. Ultimately, I'd like to get it run to everything. So maybe that's something I'll work on for the entire week. It's just tricky. Sometimes drip videos, I need a couple of weeks because I can't always find what I need at the stores, and I'm having to order things, and so you gotta wait for them. Like, for example, I know I have them. I know I do, but I don't know where they are. The adapters that you use to attach the hosing to the flow restrictor, or just straight up into the house, depending on where you live. Some places you need to use the flow restrictor, some places you don't, or the backwash valve thing is what I'm talking about. Not a flow restrictor. Might need that too, depends on your water pressure. That's not a problem I have. My water pressure's awful. I have 3 different places I keep my drip supplies, which I know probably seems silly, but I have one box that has my plumbing pieces fairly well sorted out for larger half-inch drip tubing. And then I have another box that I keep most of my things for, 1/4-inch drip tubing. And then I have an old toolbox, like a craft box, plastic box kind of thing, that has other just miscellaneous things in it. Just like random pieces that I don't use very often. And I think that's probably where those things, you guys don't need me to think out loud as to where I try and find these things. I'm just saying, like, there are little things like those, which are very important parts, because you have to be able to hook it up to the house to make it work. It'd be good to find those. And that would be great to get this drip set up. With this drip, I'll punch into a sprinkler irrigation line. That won't be a problem. So I'm talking about by my driveway. You'll see. And then I would like to get drip run over here, but I haven't quite figured out how. Where are the lights still on? It's fine. They're LED. It's okay. Because I used to run the water from behind me. From over, I can turn. The chair has a swivel. We'll come over here. I used to have a line that ran from a spigot that was on the side of the house over there that I ran underneath this bay window here, and all kinds of plumbing and stuff out here. I've done away with that because it just looked really bad. It was a really sloppy bunch of stuff to have out here. But I still need drip over here, so maybe I will run it and just set it up more towards the pool equipment and try and make it look nice enough, because I don't know if it's uphill high. We're uphill just a smidge from the neighbors over here, and if they're walking around their backyard, I want them to look over and see just like my mess of manifolds and everything. I'm saying I think that this side might be more complicated, but probably the most productive to get set up, because if I get that set up, I think that I could pull off everything I need to do with probably 1 2-way timer. So I'd want to run a 1/2-inch line just back behind everything. It can go over the step. We don't use that door very often. Swivel back. Gotta go back this way. Moving over here. Watch out, Turbo. Sorry, Turbo. Go back through here, and then underneath, not under, but behind that cabinet, and just, right over to the edge of that step. I don't think I'll be able to get enough water pressure off of one line to water everything over here, because as I mentioned, my water pressure is awful. But the main objective would be, I want one run up to a hanging basket. The hanging basket's on the ground over here, because I'm having to water it so often. So I'd want the hanging basket, windmill palm, queen palm, robellini, adenidia. And then I had debated what to have on drip over here on this side, But most of everything that's over here doesn't need a ton of water. I know the Xanthosoma could use a lot of water, but it doesn't need it because it's over here more into the shade. Gingers do like a lot of water, but I don't think that it, like, absolutely. What I'm saying is, like, things that take a really long time to water, and those are the big plants. I have to really think hard, long and hard, about what to put the drip on, because the whole point is to save me time and to benefit the plants. Oh, and I would like to get a drip run up to this basket right here. 5, almost 6 minutes, and I probably should have pointed out that I have a lot of thinking out loud to do, and that's part of the process, and some people like to hear the process. Otherwise, I would just cut straight to it. I have other videos doing drip irrigation where I'm just in there and working, and I will try my best to remember to link those down below. If not, you just search drip irrigation YouTube, tropical plant party if you want mine specifically, and they'll show up for you. But this is a vlog, so I'm doing the thinking, and we'll go out and we'll do some shopping and all the stuff involved for all of this. So to do the hanging baskets over here, this basket and that basket, this is something I've wanted to do for a long time. I had to put my shirt back on. I was putting sunscreen on my back. I wanted to let it sit in, so I'm going to get and do some laps. But I feel like I'm exposed. I'm not one of those run around without your shirt on kind of people. This drip for this and that and this Adenidia palm, I could, hold on. What is, oh, it's the tornado sirens. No barks, huh? Nothing? He is so tired. Usually when these sirens go off, he gives it a couple barks, then he sits and kind of looks at the sky, and then right now, listen. Keep listening. I swear you'll hear something. It's going to happen eventually, I promise. What's going on? No? Oh. Have we eliminated that feature? Of course we have. We've gotten rid of all of the things that help keep people safe with the NWS. Well, there was a voice that would come on to say emergency system test and everything, but anyways, when that voice would come on, he'd start barking at it. Back to drip stuff. For this spot right here, the Adenidia and then this basket, these need drip too. This thing takes a very, very long time to water because it's been in this container for a long time, and it's a lot of roots. I top dress it with compost and some just good stuff whenever it comes back for the springtime. But it's more just that it has somewhat started to mound up in the middle of the container, so the water rushes down and it tends to kind of pool up and fly over the edge of the pot. So it takes a while to water because you have to do it slowly, and it just needs a lot of water. It's a big plant. Very big plant, and the Adenidias, as long as they're draining well and it's warm, you just water the freaking heck out of them, and you get that nice thick bulbous crown shaft on them, and you can move more away from the more slender looking kind, like the ones I have back here, which aren't really so slender because they're on drip and they're getting nice and bulbous. But when you get them from the nursery, oftentimes they're kind of scrawny. All that water, as long as it drains well, when it's hot out, it just keeps them going. Not that they should be sitting in water, but just a frequency of watering. That's just an observation I've had. It's my experience. Drip would make life a lot easier on this plant. And the hanging baskets, that's something I have always wanted to do. I don't know why I haven't done it. Well, I do know why. It's because usually it gets put off until July, and then I go, I don't want to do it now because I'd have to get ladders back here in order to do it. Because what I would want to do is use the white tubing and then just pinch it back here along the trim and take that up here into the, the overhang part that I'm sure there's a word for it, whatever that is. Mini awning? I don't think that's what that's called, but you know what I'm saying. In there. And then just let it drop down from that spot into the basket. Then I could keep running it over here and let it drop down to that basket. Oh, it would be so nice. When you have hanging baskets on drip, they get so big. They get so glorious. It's really amazing, the growth on a hanging basket. I think, actually, if there's anything that you should ever try and put up on drip, it's more of a pain. But I think that I have always noticed it's the most rewarding as far as the growth that you get. Maybe it's because the coconut liners, they just dry so fast. And so when you have things on drip, they get a longer soak. I don't know. Or maybe it's just that a lot of us just tend to underwater our hanging baskets. Or I shouldn't say underwater, but maybe we're just not quite frequent enough with the watering. So that's, oh, I forgot this guy was out here. That was for the party. I don't know if I want to leave that out here. I guess it's okay. It's not hurting anything. It can stay there. So yeah, those are things that I would like to do in this video, but I don't know if they're going to happen. I would like to at least get the setup done for the stuff in the driveway, because the driveway is not a fun place to water this time of year. I mean, I don't know if you've noticed, I have yet to venture out of the shadow. The sun is just so strong and searing. I don't enjoy being over there in that area. Not unless I have, like, maybe UPF sleeves. You guys ever use those? Those make a big difference. But I don't like when I can feel the sun cooking on me. Because, you know, cancer, something I've had to deal with, and I just would rather not. So, the driveway. Let's think about that. 10, 11 minutes. That's not an intro. That's insane. Okay. So, oh, sunscreen. I know, not the best, but I have it left over from the party. I had a whole sunscreen bar set up for everybody. This stuff, though, if you want a sunscreen for your face, you hate wearing sunscreen on your face, it's so good. You don't feel it. I hate sunscreen on my face. I hate the goopiness of it. I've tried some other, like Elta MD and some other ones. That one's my favorite. And it has some hyaluronic acid in it, which I don't know if that's really doing much when you're in a pool, but it's nice to know you're putting other things on your face. So this is my 1/4-inch tubing. It's white. I have a spool of black somewhere. I don't know where it went. So I said, screw it. I will just use white tubing to tap into the drip that is in the zone in my landscape next to my driveway. That way I don't have to hook up a timer to my hose that's over here and then run a 1/2-inch line behind all the plants and then tap into that 1/2-inch line and then have hoses running over the pathway to get to the other side of the driveway. I don't want to do that. And in a way, using white might be kind of nice because it will signify to me which ones are meant for the driveway versus the other ones that are in that area. To help keep things more organized. In here, I have my little, I don't know, organizer mini tackle box thing with the pieces that I use the most frequently. Well, most of the ones I use most frequently with the drip. So right here, these are your 1/4-inch adapters. Right there. So you can use these if you have to make a cut and repair your drip lines. Sometimes these get cracked. Something happens. You cut out the piece that's cracked, and then you can just rejoin them together with one of these. Or what they're most frequently used for is to tap into your 1/2-inch drip line. You get much better water pressure if you're running from a 1/2-inch or larger drip line. 1/4-inch, you can hook it straight to a faucet, but you can only get so many heads off of them. That's the same with 1/2-inch. You can get a lot more heads if you're tapped into a 1/2-inch line, is what I'm saying, which is what I'm doing. So the end of that, we'll go into this and then go into the other plants. And these are what I'm using at the end. They're just adjustable drip heads. So you can turn them, dial them, and it'll adjust the amount that comes out. And it's mainly, this wind is probably obnoxious, but it's just too hot without it. I'm so sorry. It's mainly the mule palm that I want to make sure I have drip run to. I also have 2 yuccas in the driveway. I'm not concerned about them having drip run to them, though I'm sure they probably would appreciate it. That'll be a water pressure situation, because if I add too much more to this drip line, the drip line I'm talking about, the irrigation line, runs from that area down through the berm that's down there, up and all the way down here. I put in a valve on that drip line right over here so I can shut it off halfway in between if the pressure gets bad. It would be nice if I could figure out how to tap in my irrigation on this side of the yard to that other half of the drip line to run irrigation over here. That's something else I'd like to get done. I don't think I'm going to be able to do all that in this week. This might end up being a 2-week video. I think I'm going to have to film something else for this week, which for you guys will be last week. Yeah, because I'm going to have to order lots of stuff. Well, shoot, I wouldn't have talked so much in the beginning, because when it's a 2-week video, that means things get really long. Oh, the other parts that I use the most of are the teas. I use a lot of teas, because plants like the mule palm, it's going to need more than one drip head in there, so I'll just run one line from the 1/2-inch and then run 2 heads off of the tea. And, well, I don't know if we should talk about this. Yes, we can. Whatever, we've talked this much already. I have been debating cutting back on the number of teas I'm using and just running every single line down into the 1/2-inch line. I think you just get better water pressure that way. It may reduce as many heads, or how many heads that I can run throughout the entire garden, but I have other places that I can tap in for other things. So I don't know. I'm gonna get working on this, get some things set up. The lighter is because this tubing that I got last year, I talked about this last year too. I'm not crazy about it because it is a bit too firm. It's pretty tricky getting the drip heads into there. Like my thumb had bruises on it last year. So I have the lighter to just gently soften it so that the pieces will slide back on more easily. Slide into them more easily. Ooh, and this one. Let's get a drip run to that palm too. I don't have an irrigation line set up over on the other side of the garden here where the Echinacea palm is. But once I do, when I have a line run over there, mainly just running a line so I can get the Echinacea in these baskets watered and some other random things, then I can tap in and get a line run to that palm. I think they would enjoy it. I should be giving them the life they deserve, right? Scissors? I have scissors. You guys look at this. Is kind of embarrassing. So my clippers have gotten dull. I know they're rusty. I clean them off like every 6 weeks and it comes right back. I soak them in that rust remover stuff. I did a video on it. Works wonderfully, but it comes back so fast. So they're getting kind of dull though, and I didn't feel like trying to take them apart. So I sat here with the knife sharpener and just tried to run it through. It didn't work. Not the way you're supposed to sharpen your tools. I was like, this would be so much easier than getting out my other sharpening tool. Because I don't know where my other sharpening tool is. It's not something I use very often, so it gets misplaced. Over the last few years, I've changed a lot of my organization out here. Like, for example, when I redid the driveway in a video a few weeks ago, I added a cabinet out there, and that's where I'm keeping a lot of my drip stuff now, so it's easy access, inexpensive things, because, you know, thieves have security cameras everywhere, but, you know, we don't need to go on all that. There are certain things you're just not supposed to talk about, so let's just not talk about all of that on the internet. But, I don't know if I moved my clippers. I have some of my clippers in that new cabinet thing, and then I had some over here, so that, you know, they would be spread around. But it's not with either one of those, and that's where they should go. But I didn't have these two places as where I would keep those things a year ago when I got the... You get it? I'm trying to make it work, but sometimes these things are a challenge. I would go put you up on the tripod, but my mic is charging, and if I take my hand away from the side of the camera, there's going to be a lot of fan noise. There's probably already been a lot of fan noise. So here, I'm just going to take this flame. I'm going to take this flame and loosen this up just very lightly, which should go so smoothly when I have a fan blowing on it. It doesn't need much. This is also something to do outdoors because, you know, toxic. There we go. That went on fairly easy, even with the flame. I don't want to do too much because I don't like the fumes. Once I start to see something's burning, I back away, even though I'm outdoors. Yeah. I think that'll do. That'll do. I'm going to cut a whole bunch of these. I think I need, let's see, the mule palm I'm going to do 2. And then there's a hydrangea planter that I'm going to run a line to, but it's going to be turned way down. So that's 3. Maybe the yucca. I don't know. So here's the thing with the yucca. You'll be seeing, I know I'm being terrible here. I'm just trying to stay out of the sun. The yucca that's in the driveway, there's 2. One on each side of the stairs. They're yuccas. They don't need a ton of water. But the type that they are, the recurvifolias, if they have good drainage and they're in full sun and they get consistent watering, you get a much nicer form on the plant and they will grow much more quickly. It's kind of like a mangave. Mangaves can be very drought tolerant. You don't need to water them a whole bunch because they're part agave. But as long as it's nice and warm and you water them frequently, you know, not too much, but more frequently than you would a regular agave. That's not a mangave. It's not a regular, you know what I mean. You get so much more growth out of them. But my recurvifolias have also reached a size where they're not going to grow that fast. So I don't know if it's necessary, and I'm trying to conserve water pressure. That's enough. I've been talking too much in this video. Man, y'all are going to be happy. I know it's going to be a long one with just not a lot of moving around in action. But that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and do this part because this would be just hard to film because the area I have to squeeze into. There's where I'm going to get the tripod in there. So when I do the other drip things where I'm out in the open, I'll show all of those aspects of everything minimally because I've done all these drip videos. So if you need something specific, like I said, it's linked below. Yeah, I'm going to try and get those lines run and then see if I can't tap in a line for that. Why do I keep wanting to call it a Guadalupe palm? It's because I'm thinking about Texas right now, probably. It's a Garcia palm, not a Guadalupe palm. People watch these videos at random times. It could be a year from now. There's just a flood. The Guadalupe River is really bad. That's probably why I was thinking of the Guadalupe. I'm going to try and get this done. Okay, this is the last one for this section of drip. I'm going to go ahead and get this one set up because I feel like I should film some of it, right? You can't even see what I'm doing. Well, that's okay. The thought that counts, right? No, let's put it right here for right now. You can move it later. I'm gonna pull this out. Got to get the right length on it because the next line is over here. Yeah, the line that I'm tapping into is right there. Huh. That's a good amount of slack. Keeping these lines to the right length does make a difference with water pressure. But I also want some slack so that I can move this around. You can see it's falling down. I need to pin it back up. I think this is good. Drip is one of those things where a lot of people, myself included, tend to procrastinate doing it. I'm not entirely sure why. What's wrong with my punch tool? Oh, nothing. It worked. What's going on? Oh, it's probably because it's a slope, right? Yes. Oh, I'm down. Shoot, I'm down from the valve. That's not going to work. Uh-oh. I have a valve. Oh, watch my step here. Be very, very careful. Right here. And I shut that off to shut the drip off from everything that was down there. I guess I could just move the valve. Huh. Well, I'm just going to get it at least hooked up for now. I'm almost done. It's something a lot of us procrastinate doing. And I know I've had people message me before saying, I bought a kit. I have all the things, but I just haven't done it yet. Like 4 years on end. I'm telling you, just set aside the time. Once you have everything sorted out, it goes very quickly. Good? Yeah, it looks good. Don't cut your tubing at an angle. Maybe the slightest angle might help, but really, it just takes up space from being able to push your fittings in all the way. Takes up space from being able to push into the fittings all the way, is what I mean. That will straighten itself out. Some time in the sun. It won't be all kinky anymore. I'm going to get the sprinklers up and going and do a pressure check and see if I still have pressure coming down to these Adenitia palms, because these are the end of the line for that line since I have that valve shut off. And if there's not enough pressure, then there's no reason to go on and move that valve down here. I'm gonna have to play around with some things. And the way I really should be doing this is get all of these drip heads set up the way I want them to be over here. You can already see some of them are going a little bit hot. And then I can worry about down the line, because this is a major area that I just don't enjoy watering because you got to run the hose through. Sometimes you have to open these up to let the air out, and then you can reduce them down. This just needs to be a very slow drip. It could be a little bit more of a drip than that though. Come on. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, this is stubborn. Too much. How's that? What are we seeing here? Yep, that's good. That's plenty of drip for a yucca. Okay, and then these guys, they're going a little bit hard. Reduce that down. Way down. Come on. Oh, are those my only options? It's just like balls to the walls are absolutely insane. Turn it down. Turn it down. That's too low. You can go a little bit higher than that? No, can't go higher if I push you down lower. Okay, I need to scoot this one back. So they're both coming over. You couldn't even see what I was doing, I'm so sorry. So that they're both reaching the front. They're at an angle, so they're getting to the back also. Sounds like this guy's going pretty hard too, which it doesn't need to be. I can turn that one way down. Maybe not. Yeah, actually, I think that's decent. That's good. Come over here to the mule palm. What's this guy doing? Nothing. It's closed all the way. That's interesting that some of them were opened all the way and some of them were closed all the way. Or just had an air bubble in it. I think that's what was going on there. Slow drip. Don't need very much. Maybe a little bit more than that. Come on. That's good. That'll do. And then the Forsythia. Didn't put drip on it because I don't like it. I'm not devoting any energy to that one. It's gonna go to somewhere else fairly soon, so I'll just keep hand watering it. What's that doing? Okay, I'm gonna open it up, burp the line, and take it back down. What we got going on here? Yeah, that's pretty good. Yep, that's plenty, because this planter right here is Quickfire Fab Hydrangea, Verbena, Xenia. It doesn't need a ton of water. All right, success. I don't have to drag the hose around to water everything over there anymore. And then how's the drip running under the hydrangeas? Is that still looking good? It is. I could turn that down a smidge. That's too much. Just a little bit down. A little bit more. Okay. Actually, maybe it's not too much. I think that it was too much. I'm going to have to give this guy a check. That one, yeah, looks good. Have micro sprayer over here. Is it reaching? From there to there? Yeah, it's reaching. Come over here. See how these guys are doing. Yeah, micro sprayer is doing its thing. You are, I feel like you have more pressure than usual. I do like that to be at a pretty strong flow. Check out this head, which should not be pointed at the succulents. It's supposed to be between the ginger and the alocasia. That's better. Going on down here. Yep, that's good. I have a spray head in here that's taking care of things. I think I need to weave it back some more. All right, pressure's good. So I think I would be fine to go ahead and move this valve, or I'll just open the valve and put in a new one down there. And there we go. My last valve. That worked out perfectly. Perfect. Didn't need to adjective it. Maybe I did. I don't know. English is hard. I just triggered so many people. Anything grammatic in these YouTube videos. Oh, people love to jump on top of it. I understand that. Well, I wouldn't say triggered. That's not the right word. But I notice when people use good when they should be using well. Because it's just been ingrained to me. So when I was growing up, if you said that you were good, then, a parent would be like, superheroes are doing good, you are doing well, and, stuff like that. Okay, so for this, I'll just put, right here. It's gonna be quick and easy. Put that valve a little bit further down the line. And then these are so simple. You just unscrew like that. That goes in right here. Oh, wait, no, it's not that easy. I forgot these aren't quite the right size for these tubes. So you have to push pretty hard. And that's okay. It makes for a tighter fit with everything. Nothing wrong with that. I'll come in here to this one. Do the same thing. Press the hose in. And take these collars and screw them down nice and tight. Make sure that valve is closed, because part of the other problem is I have a crack in the line further down. And I just haven't gotten around to fixing it yet. So that's why the valves come in nifty. Get this one opened up. Give it a slow and gentle turn. Alright, something's happening. Whoa! That's excessive. Gossypalms and Vinca, they do not need that much water. I think that would be ample. That would be fine. Now, this is a large pot, so that may not do that well for the Vinca on the other side. So maybe I should adjust it some more. It's not like the water's gonna be able to get through though, because these are all grown together here. I might have to put a second line in. That might be what I have to do to make sure this gets watered evenly. For now, I'm just gonna go ahead and crank it up a little bit more. The wrong way, duh. There we go. And then I will do some of that. Crank it to the side. Some water comes over here. Get it at the right angle. Come on, gotta get it just the right angle. Okay, so as long as things get soaked enough in there, then it'll be nice and hydrated. Now I need to recheck all the other lines, because I just, added something that is using that water pressure. Things still, okay, yeah. There's still plenty going on down here. If this end is still good, that means there's plenty of water pressure. Last year there was an extreme drop in the water pressure and I never figured it out. Never figured out what happened. And I had to shut that valve and cut off the water from everything that was on that other half. Like the pressure just dropped and these things stopped working. I didn't change anything. It's just one day the pressure was bad. And this is all hooked up to an actual in-ground irrigation system with a manifold and a booster pump. So there's no reason for the pressure to change unless there's a split or a hole somewhere. Yeah, that's weird. Okay. that's done. So back to what I was saying about the procrastination and how easy it is. I mean, I'm not innocent here. I could have done this a while ago. But it's one of those things where once you just set out and do it, you're so grateful to have it done, because now that's going to save me probably a good 30 minutes of watering, I would say. Everything over there, and then that gossypalm, because you have to water that gossypalm very, very slowly. And it was, I don't know, 15 minutes worth of work, max. I did already have my line laid out, though. That makes a big difference. But once you have your line laid out, and you have all your parts just sorted and organized, find something simple to carry them in, it goes pretty fast. Once you've done even just 2 or 3 of these things, you go, oh yeah, this is easy. All right, that's done. I'm gonna go do something else now. This is good. This is good. I'm feeling very motivated now. Still haven't figured out the pacing of this and when I'll be able to get the video up, but I ordered a whole bunch of supplies that should be here in the next few days, so maybe I'll be able to get this video out for Saturday. It's probably gonna have to come out the Saturday after this. That doesn't matter to you guys. None of y'all care about that. It'll be out when it's out. It's just I have to sit back and think about it, because I'm like, well, if this isn't gonna work for the week that I'm in right now and it has to go out the week after, then I also need to film a very long video for the week that I'm in. You know what I mean? I don't know if my vocal cords can handle that. They probably can. Okay, I have a timer here that I bought last year. I just never got around to setting up any of the drip last year. I did the one system that I showed everybody. That's what I was working on for the entirety of the video thus far, where I tapped into the irrigation line and ran 150, no, I think it was 200 feet of drip tubing that I ran that connected to it. I am shocked that it's pressurized all the way through. Oh, I opened up that valve and I repaired the end that had the leak in it, so the drip is now running all the way through here, which means the 2 Chinese fan palms over here, I said that weird, Chinese fan palms, they're up on drip again. I had completely forgotten that I'd even set drip up for them. I looked over there, I was like, oh, there's drip tubes over here. I should go ahead and, set them up. I'm gonna be saving so much time on watering now. Here we go. This is the Orbit. I really like these. So for the last few years, I have been switching to just using single outlet timers. The reasoning for that is that all the timers I've been using in the past that have maybe 4 valves in the bottom, they tend to not work. They'll work well for a year, 2 years max, and then a valve will get stuck open or it'll just stop opening. Whereas these, they'll last for years, as long as you remember taking them inside during the winter time. So I'm thinking, when the rest of these supplies get here, that what I should do is get something set up over here. You can see I'm not hand watering, sprinkler watering this whole area right now, because everything is just so frickin' bone dry. My irrigation system doesn't hit any of this. It should, and that's perhaps an issue that I should just be taking up with my irrigation company. Like, hey, there's an entire zone here where you have sprinklers that are set up, but they don't actually hit an entire patch of the yard, but I'd rather just fix it myself. So I have my old 100-foot hose here that needs to be repaired. But once I get the, hold on, no, back up, reset my brain there for a minute, got ahead of myself. I ordered a holder, you'll get to see it, that you can put a hose on, and it has a little spigot on it. You run a hose down to the bottom of that spigot. I used to have that hose, that red one, over here on the patio, attached to a bunch of different 4-way valves. It was just a mess all over the patio. Whereas now it's just an extension cord. That's all that's over here. And that's only over here because the outlet behind the cabinet right here, the breaker trips on all the time, and every time I have to reset it, I have to pull all of this out to get to it. And eventually I said, you know what? Screw it. Just use this extension cord that goes around to the pull box. It works fine. Nobody cares. I'm sorry. I just keep going with it. I don't want to have all those hoses over here anymore. I don't want this to be the area with my controllers for the drip. So I was thinking that this right here would be a good spot to put that new stand that'll have the thing that I could maybe hang that hose on. I don't know. That hose is a beast. It is very heavy. But if that works out, that'd be great. It would look better than this bucket. And then I can use the hose that ran over here. It's behind the needle palms to run everything. And I can just run it through here above the soil. The little fine roots, what are they? What are they? I can't remember what they're called. The little roots that come up and, they eat the ground alive. These things. I have to chop them off the patio all the time. Whatever those are. they will bury that hose. So I have to make sure to keep it lifted. So there will always be a hose running across the pathway here, but I don't really care about that. That's not a big deal. And I can run it over here, attach it to that, and I can put probably, I'd say, a two-way valve on there and set up a drip timer, this one, to run irrigation to this area in this spot. Then I'll use that other side. I have another timer. I think I have 3 more of these to run a drip line that will come through here, go back behind everything, so that all of this can be set up onto drip. Yeah, that should work out. It's never actually that easy, you know. I mean, it is. Drip is pretty easy, as long as you have all the parts. So I have my valve connectors, the faucet adapters. Those are coming for 2 different size hoses, one for the front yard where I just use 1/4 inch. I have some coming for 1/2 inch. I have a sprinkler system too. There's an entire sprinkler system that I think I'm gonna do over here instead of drip. It looks interesting. We'll see. It should be here soon. So at some point in the video, we'll get to it and get that set up at the very least. I may not be able to get the rest of the drip set up in this video because of all the parts that are required, but I would like to. I found some clips, some little clips. That's from, I was feeding the iguana. I don't just leave banana peels here. It's not the banana peel storage spot. I found some little clips that supposedly you can clip 1/4 inch tubing into, and they're adhesive. So I'll be able to put those back there, and I think they're gray, which would be great, so you can put them right on this piece of trim. You can kind of, maybe, I'm gonna come back here, don't worry, you're gonna be able to see it in just a second. See how there's a small gray outline to that window? So I can put them there, and then somehow get them up there. I just don't want to screw into any of the wood or the siding. I don't know why, it's just a thing, I never want to do it. Any project that involves having to screw into the siding, I'm just like, I don't want to do that. The siding's not that old, and it's expensive. I don't want to be putting holes in it. Otherwise, you know, I'd have trellises and things everywhere out here, but no. Siding clips or adhesives is the way it's going to have to be. If I could get that done, that would be awesome. Of course, the only reason to do that would be that I also got the drip set up over here on this side, which would be fine, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to need 2 timers back there, right? Then I would need a 3rd for this spot. This side right here, I shouldn't even be talking about all this right now because I'm going to have to go over it again when this stuff gets here, aren't I? Whatever. I'll be putting a timer here with a splitter so I can run the 1/2 inch back there, run the other 1/2 inch back behind everything. I will put 1 sprayer on the bananas because the bananas just love drip irrigation. And then the main objective is to get the end of it over here to the... Maybe I'll run one to the oleander. And then I'll have to get it inside this vine here and get the drips up for all those things in the driveway. Apparently the sprinklers aren't hitting that oleander very well. That's good to know. Yeah, thinking out loud because I'm trying to get all planned out. I put the gingers up on drip. I think that's going to be so nice. They don't need to be watered that often. I use the Water-Wise soil with these. They're the only plants I use the moisture control potting mix with. And it works. This spot, it gets really hot. So having something that retains more moisture, they seem to appreciate it. Big time. It saves me time. So these, I only have to water about, I'd say, 3 or 4 times a week instead of twice a day like I was having to do last year. Not last year, but 3 years ago, before I started using the moisture control potting mix. But regardless of that, I went ahead and I ran some drip over to them. I know it doesn't look that great, but I'm just trying to reduce the amount of time I have to spend dragging the hose around out here. So that's basically everything out here. No, it's not. Let's do a little walkthrough. What do I still have to water by hand? Well, these still need to be watered by hand. The sprinkler kind of hits them though, so I don't have to water them a ton, but I should. So it's just these little guys. And then this coconut, that's easy. Coconuts really don't actually need that much water. And then the 3 right here, and this sprinkler head right here, which the pressure is down on it right now because I have another line tapped into this zone that fills up the pools. The pools must be low, but usually that's spraying a lot more. It hits these, so they don't need a lot of water. Man, if I put this on drip though, that would be smart. I'm gonna think on that because insects, but just bananas in general, you put them on drip, they go crazy. They just absolutely explode in growth. Huh? Yeah. Oh, I was gonna get them. You got away from me. That's just part of it. They're not that bad. I don't really spray for the Japanese beetles. Nature has learned to chew on them and eat them up, so they do some damage. They will do some damage. But actually, this year they're probably doing the most damage I've seen them do in a few years. Well, I wasn't going to spray for them this year, but I think I'm gonna come out here and do a neem fog over here and cut the flowers off of the cannas, because that's pretty bad. Well, the last several years I haven't needed to spray, I just let them do their thing, but I guess that has come back to bite me in the butt. The little grubs are waking up and they're eating the cannas. I don't know, I just have mixed feelings about it. I kind of, part of me thinks, okay, go ahead and eat the cannas, and then the birds will eat you in the circle of life. But I've also had Japanese beetles just completely decimate roses and all kinds of things to the point where the plants died. But that was when they first showed up, and nature didn't know what to do with them. But now birds and wildlife usually do a pretty good job at controlling them. Usually. Alright, there's 10 minutes of information that I could have saved for later when the products that I was working with would actually be here, but I guess I was just feeling a little bit chatty, and I wanted to remember to mention that the gingers were now up on drip. To me, that's exciting because I want to see how they're going to grow with that consistent water, as opposed to me going over there and giving them a drench 2, max 3 times a week. Okay, been a few days. I don't know why the dramatic... Nothing has changed. Why was there a dramatic reveal there? That's probably annoying. Let me turn that off. Something you will not hear me saying next week. No way. I saw the forecast. Oh, it looks like it's going to be brutal. I got some things. Pardon the sprinklers in the background. So the thing... I talked about it. The thing that you can put the garden hose on is here. And the package opened up from the bottom, so I've been very careful with it. Just started to fall apart, and I had to film other videos, so I just stuffed it back over here with this light that I was getting ready to send back. Okay. Yeah, this is all it is. It should be a pretty easy unboxing. Ta-da! Whole point of this thing here from Artie garden hose holder was faucet. Well, that pretty much says it all, doesn't it? Oh, and it's got a little cutout for you to put your, you know, hose nozzle. Let's see, how many pieces? You just click together? I bet this is going to need screws. Is there hardware? Yeah, I see some hardware. You think that's going to hold 100 feet of 100-foot hose? I'm thinking probably not. The listing didn't say that it would. I was just hopeful. But I highly doubt it. That's fine. I just wanted to get this out and have a quick read. I think that for the rest of this vlog that we should move on with the drip stuff. This is a whole entire, or it's going to go to a whole entire like snap together sprinkler system thing that I picked up from Amazon. We might try out in a separate video because it's different enough for the drip. It's going to take some figuring out. It's something I'm not all that familiar with, so maybe we should just stick with the drip irrigation for now. Okay, yeah, this isn't going to be complicated. Cool. Sorry for the deviation, me showing you things and like, hey, look at this. We're not going to talk about it right now. Sorry. Trying to make sure I store this way so that water doesn't fill up those pipes. Yeah. Hey, baby, did you just go swimming? Was it a good swim? Yeah? How's the water? Is it warm? Don't even bother shaking off, huh? Just dripping all over the patio. Finally, I've been waiting for the sprinklers to turn off. Well, kind of. Just filmed 2 minutes with them on, but... Didn't want to get too far into the drip irrigation stuff. All that background noise. Alright, parts-wise. In here I have... well, I don't really use the 4-way connectors very often, but that's nice. I have an abundance of them. These are connectors. These will punch down into the 1/2-inch tubing that you connect the 1/4-inch tubing to. And then some T's here, which... Oh, I don't use that many T's. Or I'm trying to not use that many T's. What the nice thing about a T is that you can run your 1/4-inch tubing from here to right here, and then have 2 drip heads that come off, or multiple. You can make like an entire chain of them and just keep using, you know, more and more T's. So you'd run here, that's your main, run another line to right here, and then run another line that has a drip, run and drip, you know, continue so forth. And I used to do that a whole bunch so that I could put multiple heads on one plant, on the larger plants. But I've just noticed that the water pressure is just horrible when I do that. I mean, I don't know if it would be better. I haven't fully experimented with this. I'm pretty sure maybe I talked about it at the beginning of the vlog. I'm trying to remember. That was over a week ago that I started this video. Then remember, I had to take a break from this one and then film a different video for the Saturday. It's the whole thing. There's all kinds of stuff going on. But what I'm trying to do is just every drip head gets tapped straight into the 1/2-inch tubing. I feel like there'll be better pressure that way, maybe, I'm not sure. there's only one way to find out, and that's to work on it. So that's something I want to try and keep in mind when I move on to doing things with the rest of the half-inch tubing. I'm thinking for right now, oh, the front yard's pretty dang sunny. All right, order of operations here. The front porch, I pretty much do with all 1/4-inch drip tubing, so it's quick and simple. I mean, do it with a 1/2 inch is pretty quick and simple too. Back here, I need to get my 1/2-inch line rolled out and let it sit in the sun for a while because it's going to be tightly coiled. Do not want to forget to close this up. I thought when I got this kit that it had goof plugs in it, but it doesn't. It's just a whole bunch of connectors. This should be goof plugs. Oh, it does have goof plugs. Never mind, they're right here. I was just kidding. There's some goof plugs and some elbows, which I don't think I have ever used for 1/4-inch tubing, ever. It would just use what's it called? A wire holder or a cold holder. What happened to my brain? A cord holder to hold the 1/4-inch line in place. Sheesh. Anyways, as I was probably saying at some point, it's supposed to be very, very warm next week. What happened here? How'd that happen? Wonder what this goes to. Well, now it goes to here. This is what this goes to now. That's where I'm putting it. I was being too gentle. I didn't want to break the begonia. Yeah, maybe triple digits. I'm not sure. We got lucky and have had a very pleasant week here. Plenty of moisture. Just off and on drizzle. Not quite enough to keep things watered, though, unfortunately. The stuff in the driveway's doing really, really well. Everything over here I assumed would be doing well because, well, I put it up on drip, right? Mule palm pretty much immediately responded to being put up on drip, and its growth is really firmed up. So a few more weeks of that, and I'll be more comfortable with repotting. It needs that repot really badly, but it's been so loose and just constantly thirsty. But the 2 drip heads in there, which are running right now, has helped a lot. Can you see it? I can't see the camera. Hopefully you can see it. So that's been great for everything over here. But over here, I haven't set this drip up yet. I'm starting to wonder if I even need to. Everything's fine. And by everything, I mean the yucca and the hydrangea, the zinnias that are down over there. They seem pretty good, don't they? I mean, that's not great, but that happened in the springtime, right? It's still pushing out new growth and doing its thing. Also, viola's still going at it in the driveway. What? That's not normal at all. I guess they didn't get the memo that they're not supposed to like the heat. I'm gonna have to keep working on this. I'm deviating. No side quests. All right. I have lots of tubing here. Various tubing. My 1/4-inch, which is a very old and crusty spool. I've had it for a long time and it still works. It can be crusty. And then this is my 1/2-inch line. I need to double check because I had a thing that I'm pretty sure I had donated. I don't think I have it anymore. Good. Yeah, I don't have it. I had accidentally ordered 1/2-inch drip that it was more of a soaker hose, so it had holes in it, which is not what I was going for. What are you doing? Don't do that. Just chewing on the grass. Wasn't eating it, just chewing on. Oh, look at the shadows. Look how pretty the shadows are today. Is that a silly thing to be amused by? I don't think so. I love a good shadow. But of course, I forgot my snips, so I have no way to get this open. Alright, I think that's all of them. Usually these things snap right off. You touch when the whole coil comes undone. It's not a good sign when it doesn't. This has been coiled up for a few years, so I probably should have actually done this yesterday. It's going to need to sit out in the sun for a long time to get it uncoiled. Oh no. This is probably the most tightly coiled one of these I have ever had. Great. Okay, well it uncoiled some just then. Not a ton, but a little bit. So what I'm doing here is just, well, I'm just going to spread it out. I'm going to stretch it out from one end of the patio to the other so that it can loosen up. I generally just find a spot where I can wedge one end and then find a spot where I can wedge the other. That should work. That's nifty. That was a perfect fit. Usually I struggle to find something that I can just drop and put on top of the hose because, you know, everything you put on top of these things breaks them. Oh, is this going to be a two-handed job? Or did I just grab it from the wrong end? I just grabbed it from the wrong end. There we go. Keep it going. Yes. Yes, this is a definite tripping hazard. There won't be anybody over here today, so it's a good day to get this done. I do have to be careful Don't want to pull too tight because sometimes when they're coiled up this tightly, they end up just, what's the word? Pinching down. And then once these pinch, it's done. You have to cut out the spot that's kinked. The plastic, it doesn't unkink very well. And apparently nobody's gonna be sitting at the table either. So I coiled that around the table. So right here, you see this kink? That's not coming out. I'm gonna have to cut that and put a coupler on it. Okay. That looks good. Straight all the way through. So I just need to let that sit for a while and loosen up. Uh-oh. That's not it. I don't know if you can actually see. I can see just fine. These things are moving. Camera tends to lighten things up quite a bit. The bottoms of those clouds are pretty dark. Will we make it? Am I going to be able to get anything done out here today? I hope so. Still waiting on that dang hose to uncoil. Should have done that yesterday. That was dumb of me. Should have done it. I forgot. I mean, this isn't the only day I have to work on this. I still have tomorrow and Friday, so it'll be fine. Okay. Got all the supplies I need to do the front part. I left that over there. I meant to bring that over here. I don't know why I set it there. Doing drip where it's just off the 1/4 inch, it's so much easier. I know I said that it wasn't, but it really is. In hindsight, it just is. Because with the 1/2 inch drip tubing, you gotta punch the piece and you gotta get the piece into it and then you get the hose onto it. With this, everything just sort of pops together. That's the same thing with the other one. I don't know. This is it's a much easier project. I've decided to go with the easier project because, yeah, boy's back started spasming a little while ago. Now it's like, nope. Know what that usually means, so taking it easy for a couple of days because I am not about to set off that chain reaction. Do you ever have back spasm problems where, once it starts, it can take a couple of weeks, really, to resolve the issue because you get tense. And the more tense you get, the more you spasm, and it's just hard to relax. So we're just chilling for today. Could be a kidney stone too. That's a possibility, but I feel like the pain would be much more intense. Suppose we'll find out sometime in the next few days. Anyways, this is manageable. I can do this. This is the timer I'm working with here. I always get asked a lot about, well, how to water with a drip, how long to run the drip, and it's such a difficult thing to answer. It's really hard. So I've made an 18-minute long video answering that question that will be out. I guess I'll try and release it after this video, probably. It's not all that exciting. I'm just sitting down and talking about drip into containers and then to the garden, and essentially it comes down to observation. There's your summary. It's one of those things where you got to figure it out on your own, but kind of give some tips on how to scale it, how to find your happy place. Okay, my 1/4 inch tubing. This is very old. I hope it still has some good flex to it. Usually, and I'm going to have to cut a piece off. What do I do? In what world is that going to work? You got to get it in there. I also normally use my snippers for this, but I left them in the backyard. Not that snippers are necessarily the only approved way to do things, but I mean, you really probably shouldn't even use them for this. But for me, it's just habit. I like this drip line because it's always been really soft and easy to get these pieces into. I don't have a tripod out here. I have difficulty bringing a tripod to the front porch. I feel like it's weird. Everybody can see the tripod. It's weird. I push this tube onto that outlet. You didn't miss anything. So that's going to be my end of the line. The end of the line is going to be up there inside this the begonia basket. That's going to come down, go behind. We'll put in a T to run one to this container. It's going to go underneath. You can see the old one right there that I need to lift up. Pop one into that container. Then it's going to tee off and have one that comes up to that begonia. And from that T that goes up to there, and from right there it'll go over that little outlet right to this timer. Dang, it is humid. And I'm loving it because it's not hot. It cooled down. We had some showers and it cooled down. It got up to 96 and it went down to 81. But it's sticky. But it's 81. All right. So this is going to be the end of the line. That's just... Ooh, that was loud. That was obnoxiously loud, wasn't it? I'm going to put this up here. I'm going to run that. That's got to go through the back. I guess this doesn't necessarily have a back. I tend to prefer this side, actually, over the other side because it's more full over here. But isn't it just going to turn back to the other direction? No? Okay, well, Never mind, this can be the front. If it's going to actually stay there, try that again. Give it a spin. What a lovely view, right? Love this basket. It's amazing the size difference between this one and the other basket. And this one was just planted up about 2 weeks before the other one. The begonia, the ipomoeas, they were planted up about the same time. You gotta chill right there. That's your sweet spot. Yeah, there's the other one, right? What a difference a couple of weeks makes. Now, take this end of the line, give it a pull, start guiding that back behind everything. You know, when things are up against a different part of the house, there are ways you can run the drip line up around, say around the trim. You can get clips to run it up. In order to do that in this spot, I would have to run it all the way up there and over and down the chain. I'm not doing all that. The black isn't that noticeable. It's fine. Now, if this hosing lasted for a really long time, maybe I would do that, but I generally only get about maybe 3 years out of these until they start to get rigid and they start to crack. I think I have gotten 5 years out of them before if they're in a nice sheltered shady spot, but it just doesn't seem like the right move to try and get this up all the way to the top there. Just don't think it makes sense. Let's get this down to the ground. There we go. Leave some room. Don't want to pull it too tight. All right, and then I'm going to get this one, run it back here, and straighten that out. It's a little off, but I can fix it. Pull that through. There we go. Get that tucked down from this side. That'll make it easier. To pull the container out so that can fall down. Don't want it to be a tripping hazard. Want it all the way down the ground. And then, yeah, bring it out to over here. That timer's broken. I need to put it away. There's an adapter I could have used on it. So right here, that's going to be enough to get over here. That'll be perfect. This is actually different from the adapters that I usually use. I'm interested to see how well it's going to work. Pardon my toes. And for those of you who don't mind it, then you're welcome from my toes. You know what I did wrong here? You know what I did wrong? You see that over there? Yeah, that was supposed to be right there. Oops. Easy fix. No big deal. Come on. Get on there. The hose has gotten more stiff. It's like a 5-year-old roll. So I'm surprised that it's not just leaking all over the place. Actually, ooh, that might be a problem. Though there's really no way to test it until I set it up, so you have to find out if it has leaks, then just have to grab some couplers and fix it. It is not 4:21 p.m. So this timer's working great. There we go. Teflon. Is that what it's called? Plumber's tape? Is that Teflon tape? Those are the same thing, aren't they? Just makes sense to go ahead and do it now. Also, probably should have put the hose on after I did this part. Yeah, that was fine. No big deal. Let me see. I can't remember. I know that that's not the time, so let's go ahead and just adjust that. Nothing's happening. Oh. Does this not work? Set to start 7:30. 30 minutes is way too long. Okay, well, it'll go down from there. I'm gonna go with... that's probably good. There's gonna be a lot of pressure here. Every... what does that say? One... okay, so the display on this is broken. It was set to once a day, so that's how I'm going to leave it. What if I were to put this on manual? Let's turn it on. Go to manual. Huh. Switch back to off. Yeah, this timer's broken. I think it's going to work, but it's not going to be that useful if I can't read the screen, right? So I bought a few of these last year. They went on sale, and I stored them in the cabinet on the patio, which I should not have done. I should have brought them inside. It probably got too cold, or maybe even too hot inside that thing. Don't understand why it seemed fine this morning, though. What could have changed? Well, that was a shocking turn. I took the batteries out of this one, put them in the old one that was laying in the dirt, and I think it's working. This one, I put the other batteries that were in there. Those batteries still had some juice in them because that's still on. I don't know what the problem is there. I'm just going to open this very, very slowly. Even slower than that, because that's how you blow out these manifolds, is by having too much pressure. All right, and I can hear it going over there. Oh, well, yeah, that's going to be a problem. I thought it seemed too good to be true. Okay, back to the other one. Let's go ahead and just set this for 1 minute so I can get an idea of the flow. And then get the rest of these guys hooked up, all these plants set up. Or really, I should say just check and make sure the dang thing even works, right? I hear it, but I can't see it. Can you be my eyes? Do you see anything? I see something, but not much. What I am checking for is make sure that's not doing this. That's a big waste. Got to get in there and make sure you get these heads adjusted right. Really shouldn't be doing too much of that right now, though, because the pressure is really high, because it's the only one on there right now. So that was just to make sure that we're good. I want to check the line that's in here and make sure that it's not spraying water all over the place, anything like that. I think it looks good. All right, now take one of these, goes into this spot with a hose hanging out of it. There it is. There's the end of the line, and then right here, that's gonna tap into the main. You get it? So it's gonna, like the main, this is the main line. Right here, I could just do it. That would probably make the most sense. Take this one, bring it around here, get it close to the center of the plant. Sometimes I bring them a little bit towards the front. And have to remember that the bamboo palm, oh, you can't see that, sorry. It's in a catch pot, so have to make sure that that's actually getting hit directly by this, or else it's not going to get watered, right? And there it is. There's that T. So this is the main line right here. Goes up into that container. Tuck that back, and then just keep repeating that. I'm going to do it again for this one, and then I'll get a long one run up to that basket. All right. I just turned them on. We already know this one's good, but I bet the pressure's a lot different out of it. Now that the others are hooked up, it's pretty good. Do need to make sure this is more centered. As I mentioned, since the bamboo palm is inside of a pot with soil around it, have to make sure that the water from this drip pit is going to make it to the soil on the outside of that pot. Let's see about this one. That's actually probably just about perfect. Then this one, I can't tell. Can y'all see anything? I can't tell, it's too high. That should be good. That should do it. Here's hoping. So, that was pretty quick and easy. Just need to get a new timer. That's pretty easy to do. And I have this set to run for 10 minutes, twice a day. And I'll just up it if it seems like that's not going to be enough. It's typically easier to bring a plant back from being underwatered than overwatered, so I tend to err on the side of less is more. I also like to stand out when the drips are running for the first time and see how long it takes for the water to start coming out the bottoms of the containers. 10 minutes could be overkill. I doubt it. These are big containers. They all took 2.5 big bags of that Proven Winners mix to get filled up. Or no, these were 3. These were 2. No, there were 2.5 of the small bags. That's what it was. It's a lot of soil. It's hard to tell. These are 24-inch baskets. They're really big, so we'll just have to wait it out and see how long it takes. This has already been running for a couple minutes and there's nothing coming out the bottom yet. There we go. It's about 5 minutes. They were pretty dry though, so that's not surprising. 10 minutes should be ample if the water started coming out the bottoms of them in 5. And it's going to help keep all these guys watered down there. My little rehab section, some plants got sent to me that weren't looking too hot. Oh, and just wait. Excuse you. Turbo was thrown off by me standing in the front door. I guess he didn't recognize me. These hanging baskets are going to go insane now. Hey, kitten. How you doing, Floof? Where you going? Feeling better now? Okay, that was a big zoom. Oh, this should help with that pressure, too. I just set this guy up because the sprinkler head that's down here only comes up about that high. That's not big enough. It's got to go all the way back there. So I had to turn this on because that 96 degrees was not forecasted. It was only supposed to be like 88 or 89 today. It did help get that hose relaxed. And I'm sorry that this is where I'm stopping, but I don't want to push it. The back is actually feeling much, much, much better. Generally just being up and moving around and being smart about posture and everything makes a big difference. I'm just thinking, I don't want to push it. And setting up drip, it is a lot of up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down. It just seems like a bad idea. I was looking forward to getting these baskets and everything set up this week, but I don't think it would hurt for me to spend a little bit more time thinking about it. As far as that line goes, I still want to go ahead and just get it run, but I need to make some decisions here because I would really prefer that everything over here be run off of drip that attaches down there to where that orange hose is hooked up. In years past, it's been hooked up to a hose that goes over there, which I could do because I talked about putting that thing over there and I could run it through here, but I just don't want to have a lot of different timers and things set up over there. Ideally, I'll have one timer set up to water everything around the hot tub, another timer set up to water that shade garden over there. I feel like 3 is really pushing it. That was one hell of a voice crack. I have to wait for my contractor to get here in order to set this all up. I mean, I don't need him, but I'd like to consult with him. Put in these nice stairs last year, and I want to make sure that it's okay for me to drill a small hole in the very bottom on each end to run the drip pipe through the drip tube. I actually might do a slightly larger hole, you know, maybe a 3/4 inch hole, and then put a 3/4 inch PVC through it to run the 1/2 inch through, just so it'd be like a straight guide to push it through, so that I could have all of this and that garden over there set up on just one more timer. In years past, I've had like 8 to 10 different units or different zones going, and it's too much. I don't want to do that anymore. Now that I have so much of the patio covered by actually being hooked up into the in-ground irrigation system, it just seems unnecessary. So I'm hoping that with just 3 timers in the back, so 4 if you count the one in the front that doesn't work, 3.5 since it doesn't work, that should keep everything watered, hopefully. I don't know why I couldn't drill a hole in the bottom of the decking over here, but I don't know, he's gonna be here in a couple of days. It just makes sense to just ask him about it. Also, I'm going to have to move everything. Have to move the plants out. I'm not moving the plants out from the other side. No way. That Adenidia palm was not easy. That one was not easy to get back into the garden. I don't want to do that. Also, I'm not going to run that across the front of there. That would look ridiculous. So this is what I'm talking about. I have some more details to iron out, so it's fine to stop right here anyway. Yeah, that's fine. We got a lot done. How do we like this brown pot? I am shocked with how much I like it. I remember I was at the Walmart, surprisingly. I don't go there very often. I tend to avoid going there like the plague. But I was there this past winter? Yeah, it's like late January. And I saw that pot and I thought, oh, well, hello. I really, really liked it, but I didn't get it. And then when I went back for, what was it? Oh, cushions. Before the party, I went back to grab some more cushions. And they had one left and it was on clearance, and I picked it up and I'm going, oh, geez, I wish I'd gotten 2. I do really like it. I think that I should top dress this container with some white gravel. Wouldn't that look nice? Nice, big, chunky white gravel. Even a dark stone. Yeah, maybe dark stone would look better. I don't know. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. I think either one would look nice. The white is going to help highlight the yellow, whereas a darker stone, like a beach pebble, that's going to help contrast the stone. I kind of like the idea of it highlighting, though, because then you have the brown, you have the white, and then you have the yellow, and you have the green. It just, I think it would add some more dimension. Whereas the beach pebbles are going to really blend in there, but still look very nice. Deviated. I know. So much that going on. Hey, I hope everybody's doing well. Thanks for hanging out. Tips, tricks, suggestions, always appreciated. What have you been doing with your drip? Or have you set up your drip? Or have you been like me? Did you have to wait a little while to get it done? Or started, I should say. I'm just trying to be very thorough with my planning this time because I don't want to do this again next year. When you first get into drip, be prepared to redo it several times. Every year you might tweak things and change things up some until you've really perfected it. And that's where I'm feeling like I am now, where I'm like, I think that could do this very efficiently at this point, so I want to just make sure I have it all planned out perfectly. I thought I did, but still missing a couple parts. All right, hope everybody's doing well, having a great day, a great night, and everything just going absolutely beautifully for you. Hi, baby. Hi, baby. Even the wide angle, we can't fit that big old noggin. And of course, as always, and most importantly, everybody, oh, look at that. I need to pull the dead violas from that pot. They finally gave in and died. Those ones in the driveway, they look pretty good, don't they? Keep on growing. Ginger's about to bloom. Bye bye. Oh, and there's a bird's nest up here in this begonia. It just hatched. I doubt you can hear it, but the babies, they're screaming. So none of the stuff up there was going to happen in this video anyways. I have new baskets for all these things, but just gonna wait. They'll fledge soon, so that's fine.